But I want to tell you something. Effort counts for something. It counts for a lot. How many of you have ever said the words good enough? Anybody? Feel free, raise your hand. You've already been accepted at Bentley, you're already here. Anybody? Good enough? I know I've said it. Well, what is good enough? If I said 80% effort, would you say that's good enough? I think some people probably would. How about 85? 85%? 90? 90%? How about 95%? 95%? Anybody? I know I'd be happy with 95%. How about 99.9%? 99.9%. That's pretty good. What if 99.9% was good enough? If 99.9% was good enough, then 198,000 surgeries per year in the US would result in death on the operating table. If 99.9% was good enough, 612,000 pacemakers per year would fail. If 99.9% were good enough, a day would be 24 hours long, give or take 14.4 minutes. If 99.9% were good enough, 13 planes per day would crash at Logan Airport alone. 13 planes per day. If 99.9% were good enough, then McDonald's would serve the wrong order 8,500 times per hour. Well, that sounds about right, doesn't it? So how do we get from 99.9% to 100%? And those statistics, that's unacceptable. If we saw 13 planes per day crashing at Logan Airport alone, that's unacceptable. And that's 99.9%. How can we expect more from others if we're willing to accept less of ourselves? So how do we get from 99.9% to 100%? Came up with a few ideas. Number one, we can all be a little more successful here at Bentley if we start to build our network and build it early. I can't tell you how important my network has been in my time at Bentley and beyond. It starts with collecting business cards. Everyone you meet, get the card. You know what I did? After I got their card, flip it over, write a little something about who they are, where I met them, when I met them, and then I'd file it away because I never know when I'm going to need to go back and reach out to that person. So I want to tell you what. I want to be the first one in your network. So if you each take a moment and reach underneath your seat, you'll find my business card. Go ahead. Reach out there. And I've taken the opportunity to put on the back freshman, keynote speaker, and today's date. If you don't have one, you can see the table on your way out. I was only 99.9% accurate. So I'm going to keep that card, and even if you say to yourself, that network idea is a bunch of crap, or if you say, I don't want this jerk in my network, at least take the opportunity to flip it over. If you see a smiley face on the back of the card, then you win a free copy of my book today. Okay? So if you see a smiley face, you can see the sales table for the books over here to this end of the tent. All right. The next idea that I came up with, besides building your network, is to build relationships with your professors. They are tremendous resources to you. Professors have office hours for a reason. They want to see the students come in. I can't tell you how good it looks for you to go visit a professor during their office hours, even if it's just to go out to coffee and talk about whatever is going on in your life. It shows a little extra oomph. And these professors have connections to businesses that you might be looking for a job or an internship. Build relationships with your professors and participate in class. you're going to see you're going to get your syllabi for all your courses here in the next couple of weeks, okay? And probably most of these syllabi are going to have a percentage for participation. 10%, 15 to 20%. I tell you what, participation is always worth more than 10%. Even if it doesn't reflect in your grade, it's always worth more than 10%. So I'll tell you, what happens when we get away from 100%? If we go to 99.9% or less? I'll tell you a story that my grandfather always told me. There was this elderly carpenter, and he had a tremendous reputation in the state of Maine. He was the most professional, careful, meticulous carpenter, paid attention to the details, and he did phenomenal work. And he built a reputation for doing that. And he was getting on in years. And he decided that, he had grandchildren now, and it was time to retire and spend some time with his grandchildren. And so he went into his boss's office, the contractor. He sat down and he said, "Boss, I think it's time for me to retire." So the boss, he said, "I hate to lose my number one carpenter, but I understand. So will you do me one thing? So, will you build one last house for me before you retire? I have this one last project. Would you do that?" So the carpenter, he was ready to retire now. He reluctantly said, "Yeah, all right, I'll build this last one." But he didn't want to. He had his mind set on retiring. And so he started on this last house. And within time, you could see his heart wasn't in it. His mind wasn't in it. And he was rushing